In the 1950s through the early 1960s, the demand for silver increased dramatically due to the new worldwide popularity of electrical appliances, durable consumer goods, and Reconstruction after World War II. The U.S. Treasury had a stockpile of silver at the time because of silver's use in fabrication of coins and its use as a reserve against silver certificates. In order to keep the price of silver below its monetary value of $1.29 an ounce, with increased demand of silver in the market, the government increased supply by selling their silver at very low prices. This was called free silver. After selling 10 million ounces of free silver and being left with 22 million ounces within the first few days, the Treasury realized it would eventually run out of silver to back up silver certificates and make coins. So in 1961, President John F. Kennedy found it a pressing matter to eliminate silver from the U.S. monetary system. Silver had slowly been demonetized for nearly a century prior to 1960, but it was not until President JFK initiated his new silver policies in 1961 that there was a public frenzy to demonetize silver, as well as an economic need to do so, which in turn led to the complete demonetization of silver in merely 10 years.
On November 28, 1961, President JFK began the process of taking the U.S. Treasury out of the silver business. He ordered the Treasury to stop their selling of silver immediately. The fixed price of 90.5 cents of silver sale by Treasury was eliminated completely. When the Treasury halted silver sales, the market forces caused the price of silver to abruptly increase from 90.5 cents to $1.27, which was in 2 cents of its monetary value. If the price of silver ever exceeded its monetary value, people would be able to melt their coins and sell them for a profit, undermining the whole U.S. currency system. This made it even more detrimental for the U.S. to retire silver for monetary needs. Once more, while Western silver producers were content with the Treasury halt of silver sales, the increased prices made for an unpleased consumer. Taking the government out of the silver business successfully could only be possible by repealing previous silver legislation, such as the price floor of 90.5 cents, or the transfer tax, which gave the government a 50% profit on all silver transactions, thus making silver prices more affordable to the consumer and profitable to the producer. President Kennedy's Economic Report of 1963, published on January 21st, was a document that expressed his desire for the U.S. government to move forward. He put in writing his plan to stop silver from being valuable and necessary to possess in order for money to be useful, simply becoming another industrial metal. He stated, "Except for its use in coins, silver has no useful monetary function." He further stated his future plans to repeal the 50% tax on silver and halt the Treasury's support of silver through selling silver as free silver. As a result, the Committee on Banking and Currency published a House report that proposed the Kennedy-influenced silver legislation on April 3rd of the same year. May 23rd, the Senate passed this bill, which would end silver backing and repeal previous silver legislation with a 68-10 vote. Leaving it to Kennedy to sign into law, this new bill would allow for the replacing of $1 and $2 silver certificates with Federal Reserve notes, which were backed by 25% gold at the time. In 1963, the Silver Bill, the regulation of the silver certificate, was passed. In this bill, there were two main points made. In Title I, Silver Bullion, Silver Certificates, and Federal Reserve Notes, the Secretary of Treasury maintains and keeps control of the amount of silver of a monetary value equal to the amount of silver certificates, which means, as the Treasury removes silver from backing to make coins, they should also take a corresponding amount of silver certificates out of circulation. But the next part of the bill states that the Secretary of Treasury cannot dispose of any silver unless it exceeds its marketed value. But any extra silver may be sold to other departments and agencies of the government, or used to coin silver dollars, or if the Secretary chooses, they can send it to a plant for silver bullion of a monetary value equal to the certificates. This made it acceptable for the government to continue to sell silver not used for backing. Section 3 of Title I adds to the Federal Reserve Act the power of the Federal Reserve to make notes of the denomination of $1 and $2. Lastly, Title II of the bill, repeal of tax on transfers of silver bullion, repeals the 50% transfer tax, which forced producers to pay the government half of the profit made from silver sales.
So why should you care? The most circulated U.S. bill is the $1 Federal Reserve note. Because of JFK's initiation of the silver bill, $1 bills were added to be backed by the amount of gold that the Treasury possessed, ultimately resulting in inflation of the U.S. dollar. One could say that this was a major step in demonetizing gold, thus leading to today's fiat money. Also, because of Kennedy's silver bill, there were big changes in the manufacturing industry. Investors that had bought large amounts from the Treasury took advantage of the silver shortage. Investors began to sell silver at extremely high prices. Manufacturers began to find other ways to produce their goods without silver. Concerning the public, they were no longer willing to buy silver jewelry or sterling ware, but instead they sold it to other firms that collected silver. As a result, by 1979, there was a 28.9 million ounce surplus, which the recycled silver accounts for half of. Finally, because of JFK's actions, the power of the Federal Reserve was increased significantly. The U.S. Treasury forfeited all of the power to print money, granting the Fed the power to print $1 bills, the most circulated bill to this day. Because of JFK's visionary leadership, silver no longer has monetary value, the silver market is free of government involvement, and the circulation of Federal Reserve notes has increased.
Confidence in the dollar will be restored when we do this, and I think it will be obvious in the next 12 to 18 months, as I believe it is today, that the dollar is as good as gold.